You're still under oath, sir?
That's correct, my lady.
Thank you very much. Yes, Mr. Lee?
Thank you, my lady. Mr. Wolmerans, let's go to page 25 of your report, paragraph 33, where you deal with bullet hole B in relation to the entrance and exit wounds to the right upper arm.
That's correct, my lady.
What do you say about that?
The abrasion wounds for 4.4, that is two little abrasions, my lady, just on the left side, on the hip, approximately on the same height as bullet wound number 4.5. On the right anterior chest, could be related to entrance wounds. Sorry, I'm wrong, my lady. The abrasion wounds 4.4. That's the abrasion wound here.
Let's go to photo 22. Can you see it there? What is it marked as?
That is 4.4, my lady. On the right anterior chest could be related to entrance wounds 4.3A and exit wounds 4.3B. To the right upper arm, the height of these wounds, wound 4.4, are approximately 117 centimeters above the heel of the right foot. That is according to Professor Simon's measurements.
Now, if you look at photo 22, where you have the entrance wound to the right upper arm, you see the secondary wounds or the abrasions around it.
That is correct, my lady.
That was your reference to the pattern, the expected pattern of wounding caused by wood splintering.
That's correct, my lady.
Now, if you look at photo 23, that's the exit wound. You see no splintering or wounds or abrasions or secondary wounds around that. Why is that?
There's one exit, a large exit wound, my lady, and a smaller exit wound, and that's due to the fact that the humerus was fractured, and its bone and even particles of the fractured round that exited there.
Why would there not be secondary wounding?
I'm sorry. This is very consistent to an exit wound.
Why don't we see secondary wounds around it?
Because it was covered. It was not in the direction of the door, my lady.
So you pick up your arm, demonstrating, and you keep it against the chest?
That's something like that, my lady. I can't say exactly how it was, but somewhere around here.
But do I understand your evidence to be, if it exited at where photo 23 shows us, that would then, and the arm position in relation to the chest, that would account for the contusion wound 4.4?
That is correct, my lady.
Then paragraph 33.2, what do you say there?
The abrasions are secondary wounds surrounding the entrance wound to the right upper arm and to the right forearm can be attributed to secondary missiles or wooden splinters emerging from the door as demonstrated in the test with the witness boards. The spread or pattern of the abrasions as seen in photo 24 and 25 below is indicative that the arm was close to the door, approximately between 6 and 20 centimeters from the door. My lady, if I can bear me with me a second, I just want to hand up a literature from De Mayo that confirms that this is just
well, we can get to that, and surely if it's in dispute, Mr. Nell will ask you about it. You say that's also supported in the literature.
It's also supported in literature, my lady.
And that's the same pattern that we will see to confirm what you were saying in photos 24 and 25 at page 27.
That's correct, my lady.
Then paragraph 34, you deal with bullet hole C and D in relation to wounds 4.1, 4.2 and 4.6. Those would be 4.1 and 4.2. We see the next page. That would be the head wounds.
That's correct.
we go to that. Can you deal with that?
Wounds 4.1 and 4.2 are related to 4.1 is the entrance wound, and wounds 4.2 is the exit wound to the head. Wound 4.1, wound 4.2 were either caused by a bullet perforating a bullet hole C or D. It is my opinion that the deceased was not in a standing position when wounds 4.1 and 4.2 were inflicted. This is due to the fact that the bullet holes in the door are in a lower position, maximum height 104 centimeters, that the measure plus minus 104 centimeters, that the measured height of the entrance wound 4.1 is plus minus 170 centimeters.
That's from the heel to the head.
That's from the heel, yeah, measured from the heel. The wounds might be consistent with the deceased falling down in the area close to the right side of the toilet bowl. Due to the absence of abrasions or secondary wounds to the head and face, it can be inferred that the deceased was not closer than 20 centimeters from the toilet door and was probably further than 60 centimeters from the toilet door at the time that she sustained the head wounds.
Then paragraph 35, you again deal with bullet holes C and D, but now in relation to wound 4.6, that's the wound to the web of the finger of the left hand.
That's correct, my lady.
And that wound shown in photo 27.
That's correct.
You can deal with that?
This wound could have been caused by either a bullet that perforated bullet C or D. The bullet caused the injury to the web of the finger could have impacted at point E or could have caused the head wound 4.1. If it caused the head wound, the left hand could not have been against her head.
Why do you say that, Mr. Wolmerans?
My lady, if the left hand was against the head, then I would have expected secondary missiles from the exit wound 4.2 to cause injuries on the inside of her left hand, because there was fragments of the bullet emerging from that wound 4.2. So that's why, if it, like my hand is here now, if it's holding like that, so it can enter there. My fingers is covering 4.2, and I would expect that. And furthermore, is that it was referred to the tissue, brain tissue on the toilet and on the walls. If her hand was covering it against the head, I would not expect that tissue to travel, that it will be on the inside of the hand. That's the reason, and that's my opinion there.
If you look at photo 27, 26, am I correct to say that wound 4.1 and 4.2 are actually in close proximity?
They're in close proximity, my lady.
Then paragraph 35.4.
I am of the view that the absence of secondary wounds of abrasions could caused by wood splinters to the left hand is indicative that the left hand was 60 centimeters or further from the toilet door at the time the injuries was inflicted.
Then in paragraph 36, you deal with wounds 4.9 and 4.10, the two wounds to the back as illustrated in photo or shown in photo 28.
That's correct, my lady. Only bullet that perforated the door which could have caused the injury to the back is the bullet that impacted at point E and deflected or ricocheted to point F. Although I disagree that the injuries to the back could have been caused by a ricocheting bullet, I agree with Captain Gugena that none of the bullets which caused the injuries to the hip, upper arm, and head could have impacted at point E or F. I'm of the view that the two abrasions in the midline of the back of the deceased, wounds 4.9, were not caused by a fragment of a bullet striking the wall at points E, F, as stated in Captain McGinnis' evidence, or by any of the other bullets. These wounds, 4.9, are consistent with the falling against a hard, blunt surface. This was referred to by Professor Simon. The bullet which hit E and ricocheted deflected to F could not have caused the injury to the back because of what is stated here under. The following bullet fragments were found by the police, which are referred to as marked by the police as exhibit numbers. B1. This is a fragment jacket. The outer part of the bullet, as I've already described, my lady, that's the outer part of the bullet, the copper part of the bullet. This fragment jacket has two grooves. And unfragmented bullet fired by the specific firearm has 6 grooves to the right-hand side. I didn't put the right-hand side in there, my lady. It should be right-hand side. The fragmented jacket weighed 13.3 grains and was found in the bathroom next to the cricket bat. Exhibit B2. This is a fragment jacket. The fragmented jacket has 2 grooves. The fragmented jacket weighs 9.8 grains and was found between the door and the toilet bowl. My lady, if you look at the toilet, it was found looking at the toilet. It was found on the left-hand side of the toilet. B3, this is a fragment bullet consisting of a jacket, fragment core and core. The combined weight is 47 grains. The fragmented bullet was found at the entrance to the toilet on the right-hand side, close to the door frame. B4A. This is a fragment jacket which has 3 grooves. The fragmented jacket weighs 13.7 grains. B4B. This is a fragmented jacket with 3 grooves. It weighs 11.5 grains.
It's 4 grooves. Did you read 3 grooves?
11.4 grains, sorry, my lady.
Yes.
Fragmented jacket B4A and B4B cannot be from the same bullet as combined by, they have 7 grooves. So combine the two, there's 7 grooves on them. B4C, this is a fragment core that the inner side of the bullet covered by the jacket. B4C weighs 20.1 grains. According to Captain McGinnis, B4C is a fragment of a bullet which caused the head wounds. I agree. B4D is a fragment core which weighs 13.2 grains. H is a fragmented jacket found in the vest of the deceased. It has 2 grooves and weighs 17.2 grains. J is a fragmented jacket. The core weighs 70.5 grains, and its fragmented jacket weighs 23.1 grains. Combined weight is 93.6 grains. J was found in the head of the deceased and is probably the greater remaining part of the fragment core referred to above as B4C. K is a fragmented core found by me in the toilet bowl. Its weight 65.9 grains.
You also explained about photos that you took of fragments, and you referred, first of all, you referred me to photo 187, if I may ask that to be on the screen. It's image 300. And just try number 2, the scene photos, album 2. Photo album 2187. Lady Wise is looking for the photo. I can come back to it now. No. But the point that you're making is that it shows 3 fragments.
That's correct. The photo was marked with 3 round circles, 3 fragments
In a bathroom.
in a bathroom, my lady.
And why is that relevant?
My lady, the exhibit that was given to me by Captain McGenna, there were 4 fragments, not 3.
Now, let's go to paragraph paragraph 37.7.
The bullet which caused the hip wound, wound 4.5, did not exit. There was no exit, my lady, and Professor Simon said that he never retrieved any of that pieces of bullet.
I see there's 187 on screen, Mr. Wolmerans.
That's correct, my lady. B4, and then my lady can see there is 3 circles where the 3 fragments was recovered. But my lady, I want also to point out, right on top, where I'm pointing there now, I don't know if my lady can see there where the circle is. There is, it looks like a fragment, I'm not sure, but if I look at it, it's not a close-up, it looks like a piece of jacket, but I can't be 100% sure that that is a jacket or because you only see a part of it. So it can be a core as well.
But in any event, when you examine the exhibits, the real exhibits, there were 4 such fragments.
There were 4.
Now you said the bullet which caused the hip wound, I don't think it's in dispute, did not exit. And the head wound, that's 37.8.
The bullet which caused the head wounds probably consists of B4C and J, as explained above, and as testified by Captain McGenna. The combined weight of J and B4C is 13.7 grains. 13.3 grains of the bullet are unaccounted for and could have been any of the lost fragments found, such as B1, such as B, which is 13.3 grains.
.9.
The bullet which penetrated the right upper arm and caused the contusion of the chest of the deceased would have broken up a Ranger bullet, the same as black talon, would fragment once it penetrates flesh and bone. H, the fragment jacketed weight at 17.2 grains, was found in the clothing of the deceased, which is consistent with the contusion on her chest after entering and exiting the right upper arm of the deceased. It is unknown what happened to the remaining fragments of this bullet which caused the injuries to the arm and chest. These fragments would have been small.
Up to this point, Mr. Wolmerans, I don't think it's dispute understanding Captain Mangena's evidence that the bullet which penetrated the hip, the arm and the head were not the bullets, not any of those bullets impacted at E and deflected to F.
That is correct, my lady. That's
So that's not really an
study.
issue.
That's how an study is
Yes.
evidence.
And that's, you say that in fact in paragraph 37.10.
Yeah, according to the only remaining bullet is the bullet which impacted at E and F, which according to Captain Magena, this is the bullet which caused the injuries to the back. The larger fragments of this bullet, fragment K, which impacted at point E and F, was found in the toilet bowl. The remaining fragment of this bullet may be B4A and B4D or B and B4D. The bullet which impacted at E and deflected to F would have lost most of the energy. Once it impacted at point F, it is to be expected that the fragment K, after it had lost most of its energy, would have fallen or rebound from the point F into the toilet bowl.
Let's just go to photo 12 at page 17 to explain that.
Well, my
Why do you
lady,
say it would not have had sufficient energy to
my lady,
cause injury
it
traveling
actu-
from E to F and thereafter?
Sorry, Mr. Lady, that I interrupted. At point F, you can see it actually
But let's
penetrate.
start at E. Let's start at E to
Okay,
explain.
E is where we both agree, myself and Captain McKenna, that is where a bullet ricocheted from E to F.
Well, let's first look at E now. What would have happened to the energy of the bullet hitting E?
There would already be a loss of energy at that point, my lady.
And then it's not in dispute that that bullet ricocheted or deflected to F, where there's some serious damage caused.
That is correct, my lady.
Now, when it impacts at F, causing the styles to break, what would have been the case with the energy of the bullet, the remaining energy?
My lady, a lot of the energy, or the most of the energy, will be lost at that point. And then it only rebounded and fell into the toilet with a piece of tile.
One thing I don't understand, how is it, when did you find the fragment of the bullet in the toilet bowl? Was it after the forensic examination by
After the forensic examination, after the crime scene was handed over to me, my lady. I think the crime scene, if I can remember correctly, was handed over to me the 17th or the 18th, and I recovered the bullet on the 18th or the 19th, I'm not sure now.
Now, if you look at the location of E and F, and specifically F, where it hit E, then bounced or ricocheted to F, where it caused serious damage, what is F? How far is F in relation to the toilet bowl?
I'm not sure, but I'll estimate approximately a meter.
But would you expect it when it hits there to drop into the toilet?
It's possible, yeah.
Is it sensibly the same line?
Yeah, it's approximately in the same line, lady.
What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that?
That
Same line. What do you mean?
in line with F coming down. Let me rather ask the witness.
Yes.
If it hit F, how would it get to the toilet bowl?
Rebound The toilet bowl is, if you look at it, it's difficult to explain, my lady.
But you have it behind you, mister.
There's the toilet. Unfortunately, you can't see there, my lady. But the toilet is over there, and it can travel in a straight line into the toilet bowl if the lid was open.
Meaning, let me ask you this, if I take that bullet and I throw it against, with my hand, against F, would it fall into the toilet?
It's possible, yeah.
You're 37.13.
What page are we now?
Paragraph 37.13. It's page 33 again.
37 point.
You stopped at 37.12, Mr. Wolmerans.
The fragment bullet K, which rebounded into the toilet bowl, would not have had sufficient velocity and remaining energy to cause the injuries to the back. It is furthermore not possible for the fragment bullet K to cause the injuries to the back of the deceased and rebound into the toilet bowl from the back of the deceased. Such a trajectory is not possible.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Wolmerans?
The back, as far as I can understand, the back was again in the direction of point F, my lady. Now it must come right over and then fall into the toilet bowl.
Well, there was evidence by Captain Mangena. Let's look at it, that she was sitting on a magazine rack. Now try and picture that you have the toilet there. When it hits F, it broke all the tiles at F. How would it now get to the back after the sea sitting and then back into the toilet?
I don't know, my lady.
Is it possible?
I just don't know. It doesn't make sense to me, that's all I can say.
Page 34 on top.
The trajectory of the bullet E to F to the back of the deceased would not align.
What do you mean by that?
My lady, if you look at photo photo 28, page 30. That abrasion is in a straight line. I don't know how it would rather be in, say from, she was now with her back against E, and then it would rather have been, if it was that, a mark that came from that. And I can't see how it came in a straight line. It's also something that I can't understand.
Can you look at photo 181? So you must just ask them to put it on the screen, 181.
One.
So for exhibit PP. Can you explain it with reference to this photo, Mr. Wolmerans?
come again.
Can you explain it with reference to this photograph?
Yes.
If the deceased was now, as Captain Mangena testified, sitting on the magazine rack, and you take point E, F to E, and then to the back of the deceased, how would that align? You say it would not align. Can you explain it?
It's difficult, my lady, but as I said, it would have been a skeins from the left to
Could
the
you
right.
demonstrate on the photo there?
It came from the left to the right, my lady.
And then,
From the right to the left. And not in a straight line. I don't know how it came. That doesn't make sense to me.
paragraph 36.4.
B4A, this is a fragmented jacket which has 3 grooves. The fragmented jacket weighs...
Just hold on. Hold
Which
on.
paragraph are you at, Mr. Wolmerans?
I'm lost.
Sorry, I'm lost.
Where exactly are we now?
37.
37. Yes. 37.16.
I apologize, man. I realized that. It's 37.16, page 34.
37:16.
Yes.
The wounds to the back were caused by a caused by a fragment. The fragment would have damaged the fabric of the vest, and there is no such damage. The wounds are also inconsistent with wounds caused by a fragment of this type of ammunition. According to Captain Magena's evidence, with the bullet which hit points E and F, ricocheted from F, and caused the injuries to the back of the deceased at the time that she was seated on the magazine rack cannot be correct. The only reasonable manner in which the injuries to the back of the deceased could have been caused was when the deceased was falling, probably during the firing of the shots, and her back came in contact with a hard surface, which could only have been the magazine rack. This accords with one part of Professor Simon's reference to the injuries caused by a blunt object.
Just looking at the grain of the bullet, we know that you say that it's consistent that that bullet impacted that E and F dropped into the toilet bowl. That was 65.9.
That's correct.
Grains.
64.5 grains, that is the core of the bullet.
Yes. Would there be sufficient fragments left to cause those injuries to the back?
My lady, I even went so far to take a Ranger bullet and melt it out. I melted out the core so that only the jacket was left. And the weight of the core is in the vicinity of 87, 89 grains. And the core of the jacket of the bullet is in the vicinity of 38 to 40 grains. So if you take that in consideration, and you take 65 grains, and you deduct it from 80, let's say 89, then you will get a very small piece of fragment.
Then, paragraph 38.
Summary of the sequence of shots and body positions of the deceased. What can be determined according to the pattern of secondary abrasions caused by wood splinters from the door is that the deceased was in close proximity to the door when she sustained the wounds to the hip and right upper arm. The deceased, the distance of her right arm from the door at the time of sustaining the injuries to the right upper arm was probably between 6 and 20 centimeters. When the deceased sustained the wounds to her head and left finger, she was not in close proximity to the door according to the absence of secondary abrasions caused by wood splinters. It is uncertain which bullet caused the injury to the web of the left finger, wound 4.6. It would probably be the bullet which hit A, or if her hand was not against the head but in line with the head, the bullet which caused the head wound. The trajectories of the 4 shots into the toilet door, point 39. According to the trajectories determined by me, I agree with Captain McGenna that the accused was on his stumps when the 4 shots were fired into the toilet door. The version of the accused that he shot at the entrance to the bathroom when he fired the shots is consistent with the trajectories, the primary residue found on the light switch by the police Inge Jacobs at the entrance to the bathroom, and the location of 2 of the cartridges found in the passage and entrance to the bathroom respectively. In 40, my lady, the breaking of the toilet door by the cricket bat, I agree with Colonel Vermeulen that the cricket bat was used to strike the upper door panel of the toilet door in order to break the door open. I also agree with Colonel Vermeulen that the door was first damaged by the 4 shots that perforated the door and thereafter by the cricket bat. This is illustrated in photo 29 below, showing what the damage to the door would look like if the door was first damaged by the cricket bat and thereafter by a bullet. My lady, that is on the next page, page 29, and you can see it's in a straight line, everything, with a bullet hole in the middle.
That is a shot that you fired and
That is correct, my lady.
When the door was first cracked and then you fired a shot.
The door was first cracked and then the shot was fired. Then sound recordings with cricket bat and 9mm by 19mm firearm. On the 21st of the 3rd, 2014, tests were conducted at the Blue Gum Valley shooting range, an accredited shooting range at approximately 2100 hours. The range master was Mr. Van Roots. The purpose of the test was to determine the resemblance, if any, of sounds made by a cricket bat striking a door and a firearm firing shots. The door which was used was a door which had been removed from the Silverwoods Country Estates, Pretoria. The firearm which was used was a Taurus 9mm by 19mm pistol. The ammunition which was used was 127 grains Ranger ammunition. That's without the black tip, my lady. In conducting the test, it was decided to record the sounds made by the cricket bat striking the door, determine the effect of the cricket bat by striking the door, record the sounds made by the change of the firearm. The recordings were made at a distance of 60 meters and 180 meters from the door. The following people were involved in conducting the test and recordings: Dixon, Van der Westhuizen, Herter, Mr. Herter's assistant Dirk Smit, and I. Andre Herter of Montana Studios performed the sound recordings. The following equipment was used to record the sounds made by the cricket bat and the firearm at 60 meters and 180 meters. The microphone was a 2x Shure PG81 pencil mic. Microphone arrangement was by a XY stereo configuration, audio interface, pre-sounds audio USB, computer and recording program, a MacBook Pro, Logic Pro 9. The firearm malfunctioned after each shot, resulting in only one shot that could be recorded at the time with manual reloading. In order to record shots fired in quick succession, a second series of tests were conducted on the 9th of April 2014 at the same shooting range and by using the same recording equipment as used previously. The firearm used was a Beretta 9x19 millimeter, which is similar to the Taurus previously used. The cricket bat was not used. The persons present at the test were Andre Herter, Rikus Kruger, and myself. On the 21st of March 2014, I positioned myself first at 60 meters from the door and later at approximately 120 meters from the door. At both distances, the door was struck by the cricket bat and a shot was fired. Although I am not a sound expert, I can state that as a ballistic expert, the sounds caused by the cricket bat hitting the door resembled the sounds made by the firearm, although not as loud. And I must point out, my lady, that I have tinnitus. Tinnitus is ringing in the ears all the time due to a lot of shootings because of my career.
Well, Mr. Wolmerans, Mr. Dixon gave evidence about a piece of the prosthesis from the sole that was handed to him for analysis.
That's correct, my lady.
In order to determine the mark on the door that resembled a kick mark, and he gave evidence about testing the varnish on it and the fabric of the white sock and so on.
That's correct.
What was your involvement there?
My lady, I just went with Mr. van der Westhuizen. He observed it, and I went with him to the Mr. Pistorius' house, Mr. Arnold Pistorius' house in Waterkloof, where Mr. the accused is staying at present. And Mr. van der Westhuizen cut this piece out.
Where did he cut it from?
I think it was a right foot of a prosthesis. And he cut it out the piece, and he put it in an envelope, sealed the envelope, marked the envelope, gave it to me, and that was on the 27th February 2013. And then again, on the 1st of March 2013, I gave it back to him, and he gave it to Mr. Dixon.
Did you ascertain if it was the prosthesis at the time worn by the deceased, by the accused of the shooting on the 13th of February?
Come again?
Did you make sure that the prosthetic legs that you used to cut the piece from was in fact the leg that was used by the accused on 13 February 2013?
That's what he told us.
And I'm sorry, I just missed the last part. When did you give it back to Mr. van der Westhuizen?
I think it was on the 1st of March 2013.
Yes, Mr. Dixon's evidence was that he believed it was 1st of March when it was handed to him by Mr. van der Westhuizen.
So I think that was the date that I gave it back to you.
Thank you, my lady. I have no further questions.
Thank you, Mr. Yes, Mr. Knapp?
Please, the court, my lady. Maybe before I start cross-examination, may we ask for a short adjournment? We want to reconstruct something in this area,
Yes.
and which would make cross-examination easier. Lady, may I ask that the court goes back to chambers, and then we'll call as soon as we're ready.
Court will adjourn. Under oath, Mr. Wolmarans.
That is correct, my lady.
Thank you.
My lady, learned assessors, before I proceed with cross-examination, may I invite the court to observe the toilet from close up. We've set up probes and the laser, and I just think it would be in the interest of my cross-examination, in the interest of the court, to be able to see us close at close hand, my lady. May I invite the court just to do that?
Okay.
But lady, will Mr. Ruin and myself join you?
Yes, yes.
May I also ask that we have something to spray, that the laser is more visible. Just that happens. So, my lady, we could perhaps stand on this side. What we and then perhaps inside.
Let's have a look. Yes, I see what you mean.
By a recent board, it's also good to perhaps also have a view from this side. We've measured this malady is over here and it is over there. That's been measured. And on stop. The water will be this. Make it simple. Yes, in the photograph, it's like that. But we refer this back to the photograph. That is the original.
Maybe just, I assume they will later on also just move the laser through the other holes and see how it connects with E. From it just a different, on the angles. I see the angle D, but on the angles A, C, and D. But in the meantime, it's B.
Yes, Mr. Roon.
As a good pleases, my lady, perhaps just place on record we had inspection of the toilet cubicle that was erected in court. We have probes through bullet hole A and bullet hole C, and there was a laser that ran from the laser through bullet hole B into bullet hole E, my lady, ricochet hole E.
Yes.
And that is what we were able to observe.
Thank you.
That's good.
Yes, Mr. Ram.
And I think in all fairness to the state, also to say that indeed from where the laser was placed, it aligns between B and E. But that I also put on record that I assume that the test would also be done with the other bullet holes in relation to E. But in fact, it aligns B and E. I think in all fairness, I must also say that,
Thank
subject to the other tests.
Yes, thank you. Thank
That's
you
good.
very much. Yes.
As a good pleases. Mr. Wolmerans, were you in court when Professor Botha testified?
That's correct, my lady.
Were you in court when Mr. Dixon testified?
Not all the time.
But for portion of his evidence, you were in court.
Portion of his evidence I was in court.
Mr. Dixon's evidence, he was excused from court on the 16th of April.
Can't remember, but I assume it's correct.
I see that your report is dated the 23rd of April.
That's correct.
Is this the only report that you've furnished? Was this the latest report?
My lady, this was an ongoing report.
So it's an ongoing report, you made changes to report as the case develops.
My lady, the first thing when I arrived in the crime scene, on the first time I arrived in the crime scene, the crime scene was absolutely, it was not in the same condition anymore. And I gave her, in most cases, I gave a verbal report to the legal team. And as it goes on and I get more information and things, I amend my report.
Now, can I ask you, did you furnish other reports that you signed off on and handed to the defense? Written reports?
Not really, my lady.
What do you mean, Mr. Wolmerans, but not really?
My lady, as I said, most of my reports were verbal reports. And then this report I wrote, and as I go on, I informed the legal team on what I have done, and I carried on like that.
Again, you use strange word. Most of my reports were verbal reports. The question is easy.
This was part of the reports that I've sent through to them as I go on, my lady. And then I amended the report as we're going on.
The question was something different. The question was, have you furnished the defense with a written report signed off by you?
I think I've answered the question, my lady.
I'm not too sure.
My lady, what I said is that this report, was, I started with this report, and you can see at the beginning, I started with the report, what I have done, when I have been at the alleged crime scene, and from there on, I just added on to the report. So a part of this report, the first part of this report, was a part of my, and then I amended the report as I went on.
Do I understand that you sent this report earlier, but it was not a full report, it was only part of it? Is that what you're saying?
That's what I'm saying.
You sent it to the defense.
So the report that I compiled,
Yes.
I've sent some of it through to the attorney.
A written report.
No, not a written report. And then I amended as I went on. And at the end before I came to court, the last time when I've been at court, I've just done it, and as I said, my English is not very good, and some of the words like "wers" and "was" and things like that, and that is the date when I've put that on.
You see, I heard your explanation now. Am I right in saying that you furnished reports, written reports, signed by you to the defense team before this one?
I've never signed a report. I've just, at one or two stages, sent stuff to the legal team that my lady, like, for instance, I've got something here, notes that the 4th of March 2013, and there's the reports that was sent through. I can give it to Mr. Nell, and that formed a part of my report. So.
But let us just take it again. So you have furnished a report to the defense before this one?
I won't say it's reports, it's notes.
Notes?
Notes.
You furnished... No, but let's not talk about notes, Mr. Wolmans. Let's talk about reports. That's my question. Have you furnished the defense with a report before this one?
Not that I can remember, my lady. Only the notes that I'm referring to.
So, are you telling me that before this trial started, you did not have a report that you furnished the defense?
There was still information coming in, my lady, and I can't furnish a report on a report. There was notes that I furnished them with, and some of this, the contents of this report was furnished to them, but not the complete report as it is now.
No, I know not as it is now. That's not the question. The question is, did you furnish them with a report before the trial started?
I've already answered the question, my lady.
Did you? I'm asking it again. Did you furnish the defense with a report before this trial started, a written report?
There was a report that was furnished to them.
Where is the copy of that report?
I haven't got it with me, my lady.
Why don't you have it with you?
Because this is my report, my lady.
Why would you not want us to see your earlier report?
My lady, as I said, the most of it was to amend my English. There's not really anything different from it. And then, as I can remember, one place, I repeated myself, and it was taken out because of the ongoing report. At some places, I repeated myself, so it was just taken out.
Yes, but I hear what you're saying. I'm asking, why don't you have it ready so that the court would be able to see if there's a difference between your earlier reports and this one?
My lady, I didn't see it necessary to bring it to court because this is my report.
But
and my final report.
As an expert, you wouldn't mind the court to see the reports that you furnished?
My lady, in the first place, the work that we do is an empirical science. It's not a science that you can, things is coming in and then things changes because it's like building a puzzle. If you haven't got the right puzzle to put into that specific spot, your puzzle is not completed. And as it went on, things have changed, and yeah, some of the stuff have changed because of this type of science we're doing.
You see, that is what I'm interested in. And I think the court should know how your views and conclusions changed over time. That is what we would want to see.
My lady, at the first time when I went to the scene, the door was not there. To give you an example, the door was not there. The exhibits was not there. I couldn't come to any conclusion with a scene that was, I didn't know where exhibit was retrieved on the crime scene. The only exhibit that I know of that was really in the same place was the bullet that I took out of the toilet. The rest, even the book rack, was not in the same place. There was books taken out of the book rack and put onto blood. And it was, the crime scene was absolutely not as it should have been, where a forensic expert can come to a conclusion. So my first report, as I said, there it is, and we couldn't come to any conclusion at the first stage when we were there. And as it went on and questions was asked, my first instructions, as I said in the beginning, was only to determine whether the accused was on his stumps and what distance he was away from. And the other stuff came later on.
Mr. Wolmerans, I've listened to your answer. I'm going to approach it from a different angle. As an independent forensic ballistic expert, do you have a filing system? Do you have a filing system?
In what sense?
In your office?
My filing system is on my computer most of the time.
Okay, but listen, so you, again, I'm very surprised by your answer. My filing system is on my computer most of the time. That's what you said. Why would you say that? Most of the time. Mr. All I'm asking you is, do you have a filing system in your office where you file reports? Do you?
No, my lady.
If the court would want to know what is on your report that you furnished before the trial started, how would you be able to do that, to get that report?
I'm not with Mr. Nell now.
You said to the court that you furnished a report before the trial started, a written report. Is that correct?
That's correct, my lady.
Now, if the court would want to see a copy of it, where would we find it?
I've altered it, my lady, but because of my English, and I was assisted to alter my report. And as I said, I have repeated myself, and that was taken out of the report.
I hear what you say, but you, before the trial started, handed a written report to the defense.
I can't remember that I've handed them one. I've discussed it with them, but I don't think I've handed it one. I'm not sure. I'm really not sure if I've handed them a printed report. I'm really not sure, but I know there was a consultation with Advocate Kenny Aldwych, and the report was just briefly discussed, and
That's it. So at least we have the following. In consultation, and I don't want to find out what happened in the consultation, so please don't tell me. But in the consultation with counsel, you had a report ready, handy. There was a report.
was on my computer.
Was on your computer.
Was on my computer.
Did you email it to the defense?
It's too big to email.
You never printed a copy and handed it over.
No, I can't remember that I've printed one and handed it directly to them.
Did you save that copy?
No, my lady, as I said, I've altered it.
So you never saved a copy of any of your previous reports?
There might be some of the notes that I've saved, that I've sent through, but not the report. As I said, there was notes that I've sent through, but I can't remember that I physically gave the defense a printed report. It was all the time on my computer, but I did email notes that were small. For instance, I was asked, if I can remember correctly, at the stage to give opinion on a cricket bat, the marks on the door, and that was a note that I sent, but not a report.
Now, where do you keep your photographs?
On my computer.
Now, this report that we see here, this report is on your computer.
That's correct, my lady.
And how did you get this to the defense?
I printed it at my house on my printer, and I gave it to the defense on when the court started again on Thursday.
So you gave them a printed copy, and you never gave them an electronic copy, or did you?
My lady, it's a possibility. I can't say. I think it's a possibility. Yeah.
But you see, Mr. Vormerand, and please excuse me for not understanding why you would say it's a possibility. It happened on the 23rd of April. After the 23rd of April, why can't you tell the court if you gave them an electronic copy or not?
My lady, I said I can't remember. It might be that I gave them a electronic copy.
But why would you not be able to remember that?
A lot of things was done during consultation, and I really can't remember, but it's a possibility, and I can't exclude it.
Did you change your report because of consultation?
I've already said that.
You did. So you were consulted and changed your report?
I've already said my English was, I was helped with my English, but never, ever was I asked to alter my report to suit the defense case.
Can I ask you, the sound tests that you did, the first, and I'm talking about the bat and the firearm. The first test you did was on 21 March, am I right?
I think that's correct, yeah?
Did you not do tests before then?
Sound test.
Yeah, with a bat and a gun.
No, my lady. The first one with the bat and the gun, I didn't do any tests that I can remember of sound tests with a bat and a gun.
No?
With a bat and a gun, no, not at all.
Did you do any other tests?
There's a lot of tests that
But sound tests?
My lady, at the stage, there was a person who did some decibel tests.
Of what?
Of hitting the door.
When was that?
I can't remember the date. I must look it up. But it was about 2 months ago.
Were you present?
I was present when it was done.
Where? Where did it happen?
At Mr. Pistorius, Arnold Pistorius' house. A similar door was inserted into a door, and a cricket bat was used to hit the door. But unfortunately, as I said, the whole thing didn't work out because the door was fitted into a frame, and it was hit my lady, and then the door moved. It was not stable because it was not really fitted into the walls with roll bolts or whatsoever. The door moved, and the whole exercise was a mishap.
But you were part of this test?
I was not. I was just present.
Present.
I'm not a sound expert, my lady. So I've already stated I'm not a sound expert.
And I appreciate it. So I'm not going to test you on any expertise as far as sound's concerned, but on your physical presence and what happened there, I'm definitely going to test you on. Now, this test at Mr. Arnold Pistorius' house, who was present there?
I can't remember the one person. I think it's Mr. Malan. I can't remember his name. I think it's a Mr. Malone, but I might be wrong.
Okay. But yourself were there?
I was there.
Yeah. Where else?
Then there was a person, an artisan, who actually helped to fit the door into the frame. There was an opening in the door like an arch, my lady. And he assisted to fit it in there.
Yes. Who else?
And then the accused himself was there. And I think Mr. Arnold Pistorius was there. I'm not sure. I know that he was there at times, but I don't know whether he was there all the time. I'm trying to think, my lady, and
Mr. Dixon, was he there?
no, Mr. Dixon was not.
Mr. van der Westhuizen?
No, Mr. Van der Westhuizen was not there. As far as I can know.
At that time, who hit the door with the bat?
The accused himself.
You said there was decibel test done.
Yes, my lady, and as I said, I don't know anything about decibel test and how it's done, but there was people who've done this decibel test. But it was not, and the reason it was done there is because it was in a room. And shot can't be fired there, it's in an urban area. So shot was not fired there, but the cricket bat was hit. And there was definitely decibel test. What the results of the decibel test is, I won't even be able, if I've got the report, to interpret it, my lady, because I'm not a sound expert.
Now, on the night that you did the test, there were no decibel tests done at the shooting range.
The night referring to
21 March, when you
did it on shooting.
Yeah.
No, there was no decibel test done.
Neither of the 2 evenings. Because you did it on
Not the 7 evening as well. My lady, I can just say, I know this is not a question by Mr. Nell, but just for completeness sake, I was just asked to supervise this test. As I said, I'm not the sound expert. I don't know how to do it. And I organized the shooting range. I organized Mr. Van Roots, who were present as the range master that night. As I already said, I'm also accredited SACITA assessor. But he organized a shooting range. And this was only done due to a thing that came onto YouTube. And as far as I know, I was requested by the legal team to do it. But I'm not the sound expert, so I don't know what to do. I don't know. I'm not a sound expert. So if the test was conducted erroneously, I'm not the sound expert. I don't know how to do it. I've just done it.
Mr. Boberhaus, I'm trying to be fair. You've said when you started to the court that I didn't ask a question and you wanted to say something. Let us in future answer the questions. I'm sure you had an opportunity to give evidence. Mr. Roux would be able to ask re-examination. Please, just focus on the questions.
I'll do that, my lady.
Now, we know that Mr. Dixon testified and was excused from court on the 16th of April. Did you meet him after that?
Yes, my lady.
And what was the reason?
My lady, he had a thorough cross-examination, and I just thought I'll take him for a beer. I took him for a beer.
Where was that?
At the IPA, International Police Association.
When was that?
It was shortly after he retired from court.
And is that the only time you saw him then? Or did you see him after that as well?
I think maybe once.
Where?
I can't remember, my lady.
Why can't you remember where you saw
I
him?
can't remember each and every time I've been doing exactly. I know that I've met once, maybe twice. I think he was once at my house, just popped in, say hello, how was it? And he went off. And then it's a possibility that I've met him somewhere, but I think maybe at the IPA house again, or I can't remember. His son is in the university, and the reason that for the IPA is very near to the university, and we had the beer there because of it. Then he can pick up his son after the beer from the university.
But you discussed the case and his evidence.
My lady, he already testified, and I will say it's highly improbable that we haven't made some discussions on the matter.
Did you, after his evidence, change anything in your report?
It's a possibility that I've changed anything on my report, but not things that I have discussed with him or anything. My lady, Mr. Dixon is not a ballistic expert, so I won't even take his advice to change my report.
That's an interesting comment. So you wouldn't take Mr. Dixon's advice on ballistic efforts at all?
No, I won't take his advice.
And the court should do the same?
He's not a ballistic expert.
The court should also discard everything he said about ballistics.
But I think he testified that he's not a ballistic expert.
The court should also not take anything into account because you wouldn't. Am I right?
I'm not with you, Mr. Nell.
You wouldn't expect the court to accept anything Mr. Dixon said as far as ballistics is concerned.
Well, he's not a ballistic expert.
No, that's not the question. I know he's not a ballistics expert. I'm asking you something different. You would not want the court to accept anything he said because he's not an expert.
You mean I would not?
Yeah.
When if he testified on ballistics,
Yeah.
it might be his opinion, but it might be not mine.
Okay. Now we go back. If you changed your report since his evidence, what did you change?
I can't remember.
No, but you see that.
My lady, there's a lot of things, as I said, words and was and things like that was changed in my report. But the contents of my report was never changed in the sense that Mr. Dixon told me something and I've changed my report according to what he told me.
Okay. Let's deal with something different. Did you consult with the accused about the shooting incident?
My lady, I first met the accused the day when the prosthesis, and we were there about, if I can remember correctly, not more than a half an hour, maybe 10 minutes, but not more than a half an hour. And then I think at that stage I also took a measurement of his height of his arm, with prosthesis and without prosthesis. But up to today, this matter was never been consulted with the accused. He was in the presence at consultation where questions was maybe put to him or put to him by the legal team, but I have never consulted with the accused on what happened there that night.
But then I understand you saying during your consultations he was present and questions were asked.
Yeah, there was probably questions asked on certain aspects, but I personally never consulted. The question was, did I consult with him? No, I didn't consult with him on what happened that night.
Let's change it. So at least the incident was discussed, the shooting incident, in your presence and the accused presence.
My lady, the first time that I just mentioned about when I met with Advocate Kenny Aldrich, I started to talk about something and I was very, I'm looking for the right English word. I was not aware what I was doing. And I brought up a photo of the deceased. And he went out and he went vomiting. Okay. And he never came back into the consultation.
You see, Mr. Vormerans, why would that be an answer to my question? That the accused vomited because he saw a photograph. Why would that be a response to my question?
You asked me if I've consulted with him, and I said no, and he went out. And that's why I've answered the question, because then he never came back into the consultation room.
No, Mr. Vormerans, you showed your bias. You just wanted to say the accused vomited, that's all.
No, my lady, I'm not biased. I've testified, and I see myself as a witness of this court, and I'm here to assist the court wherever I can. And I take exception to the fact that Mr. Nel say I'm biased.
I hear your exception. I'm making an inference from your evidence.
Well, you can make an inference what you like, Mr. Nel. I've never lied in the court, and I've never.
That gives me a brilliant opportunity. Are you saying that the court never rejected your evidence?
Sorry, my lady.
Are you saying that a court never rejected your evidence?
I don't know about it, my lady. I've been to a couple of cases. And matter of fact, while this court case was going on, I testified in a matter in the other side. I can't remember the place name now, where the High Court is near. And my advocate came to me and she said, my evidence was rejected in the case. And I think it's the second or the third time that this was put to me. But they never came to me, and I don't know. If it was rejected, I can't dispute it. And I don't know what case it was.
I will help you. Beetge. In the Beetge case where you wanted to testify that a right-handed man would shoot him in the left cheek, the court rejected your evidence.
My lady, this case was in Gauteng, and it was in front of Judge Mohammed, and the advocate in this matter was Karen Outreach. The case is still, as far as I know, at appeal, and I actually had a consultation with her on this matter. She was here with the Pretoria bar. She moved up, and she's in Cape Town now, staying in Stellenbosch, I'm not sure. And I had a cup of coffee with her, and I asked her what was going on in this case. Captain Mangena also testified in the matter, and she said to me that what she said to me, and that is her words, what she said to me, your evidence was not rejected, and that the evidence of the accused was rejected, and your evidence that you gave was on the basis of the accused version, what happened there.
Yes.
So, and as far as I know, my lady, yeah, that's what the advocate told me herself.
We'll deal with that, but let us just carry on because I was sidetracked. I apologize. On the 8th of no, not that day. On the 8th of March in 2013, you went to the crime scene and Captain Mangena was there and he reconstructed the scene. Am I right?
100% correct.
You made certain observations whilst he was there. Am I correct?
Yes, and I took some photographs.
And I'm sure you then reported back to the defense on your views of the reconstruction.
Again, it was I did a verbal confirmation of what was done there, but never a written report.
Now, on that particular day, Captain Mangena at a distance of 2.2. Now, before we go there, I was sidetracked and I apologize. Remember, I got sidetracked when we started discussing if you consulted with the accused. So I'm following up on that. You said to this court that during your consultation, the accused was present and certain questions were asked and answered. Is that
There
correct?
was questions answered to him. Asked to him, not answered to him.
But he was present and you were present.
Yeah, he was there at stages, and
Now, his position where he was when he fired a shot, who gave you that position?
Captain Mangena.
So you agreed with Captain Mangena's position from where the accused fired the shots?
My lady, the position where he fired the shots from was approximately from where he took his measurements, and I agreed that from that point, it's a possibility that it was the height of the deceased and the position of the deceased. If you take, as I said in my evidence in chief, if you also take and count the primary residue test and the cartridge cases that was retrieved, Exhibit 1A and Exhibit A1 and A2, then taking that in consideration, I agree with Captain Mangena that the shot was fired in that vicinity.
Let us just make sure that we have it photo 31. Lady, that's an exhibit from Exhibit RR. It's Captain Mangena's report. That's photo 31. So do you agree that the reconstruction of Captain Mangena's as to the position of the accused was that the accused was standing in that, well, there, where the laser is standing?
That is approximately position where he was standing. I can't say exactly, but that was approximately position.
Now, if we just go to photograph 32, this is what we... Now, Mr. Wolmerans, I would want you to satisfy yourself that this is what we see today. We have the laser at exactly 2.2 meters. We have the laser going through B into E. Do you agree that what we have here is what is depicted on that
I haven't measured the distances, but I'll accept that that is the correct distances.
Yeah, I wouldn't put something if it's not so, but you're welcome to measure it if we have a break.
I'll accept it.
Yeah.
My lady, I've got the biggest respect for Captain Mangena, and I've also said it, and that case that you just referred to, you can go back into my things, and and I think you've got respect for me as well, because he calls me oom, and that's a very, very Afrikaans thing for somebody to call you oom, because then you've got respect for him. And sometimes I call him my seun, and we've got respect for each other. So I agree that I won't go against that.
Okay, that's fine. So, what is important though to see is that from that position, if you move more to the right, that wall would come into play.
What wall you're referring
The
to?
wall that you can see right next to that one, yes.
Oh, this one, yeah.
Yeah, that one there, yeah.
This one where the light switch were.
Yes.
If
That
you,
is just next to that tripod was situated just next to that wall, at the end of that wall, am I right? If you go more to the right, you go into the
I
passage
think,
leading to the
if
bathroom.
I can remember that correctly, it was more centered, yeah, right at the corner of the, if I can, my lady, if I can point it out, no, it can't be pointed out, yeah.
No.
But it was the position of the tripod where it is now. It's, you can even see it there. I think
Yeah,
it's
next to
right
the wall.
next to the wall, but maybe a bit into the bathroom. But I'm not. I
Okay.
can't remember correctly, but that's how I remember it.
Good. Now, to put this into perspective, if you look at that photograph and you turn right next to, you go out the bathroom.
Correct.
Okay.
That's a passage that is going into the bathroom, my lady.
Good. Now, do you agree with me that if one moves the laser from that position, just where it is there, to C, it will not get to E? Do you agree with me or not?
I don't understand the question,
No.
my lady.
As the laser is there, it's now, the laser is going through B. You can see that there.
Yeah.
Now, if that laser is exactly there, and you move it to C,
The
it goes
laser,
through C, will it go to E?
my lady, the laser can be at exact position, maybe a bit higher, or just a little bit to the left or to the right, and then you will be able to reach C.
No. I hear what you're saying. To reach C, you have to move forward and to the right towards the wash basins. Then you can reach C.
You
But-
don't need to move forward. Your hand can move left or right, and the shot can be fired from that
No, but-
position.
No, but listen, I mean, you know lots about guns. Now, if I stand there where, and I move to the right, the whole angle changes. Because, and it's so difficult, Melody, it's not as if he's bending in the elbow and going like this to have the same angle. If I face B and I move to C, the angle changes.
I
And-
can twist my wrist as well, my lady.
Yes, no, that I understand. Let us do that. So, I face B. So where will I have to twist my wrist to get to C? Like towards the right.
My lady, all the shots could have been fired from that position. Bit lower, bit to the left, bit to the right. There could have been some movement. I agree. There could have been some movement. So, but if I understand the question maybe that Mr. Nell is asking, if he was moving back to the right, to the right of where that corner is, then you won't even be able to see C. Is that the question, Mr. Nell? I'm not sure.
No, you see, Mr. Vormerans, that is just, if you don't understand, just tell me, but what I'm saying is, if he's standing where he is, we're there, the laser is there, can you move that laser from there, just there, through C to reach E? It has to move.
That's the point I've
Yes.
been making, my lady.
Yes. Okay, no, but now we're getting somewhere. The movement to go through C must be a bit forward and a bit to the right.
Can be slightly forward, slightly to the right.
That places you in that bathroom. If I move from there, slightly forward and slightly to the right, I'm close to the wash basin. Should I try and get a photograph?
No, I'm thinking, my lady. Give me opportunity
No,
to think
please do.
and to answer the. I would like to answer the question of objectively incorrect, if I understand it correctly. The laser is there. I can move slightly to that side. I'm sure. Looking at the photo, only, my lady. There's a nice photo. There's a nice photo, my lady.
Yes.
That photo actually shows where the laser is.
Yes.
And that's exactly where I explained where the laser
If you
was.
move to the right, you go to the wash basins.
Then there is still some space to move to the corner there if you go to the previous photo. Go to the previous photo and you'll see there's some
32.
space.
Let's go there. We can go there.
There you are.
Yeah, you look at that one. That even helps you more.
There's some space that it can still
But
move.
then, you see what I'm getting at is the following. If one, let us start on a different foot. We both agree, and you agree with Captain Mangena, that bullet hole A,
Hey,
A,
yeah, hey, yeah.
Hey.
The first one.
Yeah, that.
If I can just point it out, my lady. This is
Indeed, you're right.
like that.
Yeah.
And that, as far as I know, is the lowest one, something like 93 centimeters. 93 centimeters.
Yes. Now we all agree that bullet hole E hit the deceased in the right hip.
I think that is, we've got consensus on that, and I agree with him, that that fits in with the whole puzzle, I could put it that way.
And we all agree that that was the first shot.
Yeah, I think that would have been his first shot. Yeah. That's my opinion as well, that
Yes.
highly probably the first shot.
Yeah. Now, the pathologist that testified in the defense case indicated that with that wound, the deceased would have fallen backwards and to the right.
I remember that she said, he said that she was collapsing or falling backwards. I can't remember his exact words.
But there are lots of people checking up on me. I've read the record. He said she fell backwards and to the right.
I remember him saying something like that, but I can't exactly remember it. But I will agree with Mr. Nell.
Now, what we have, and where we agree with you, I have to just build it so that we all understand. Bullet A hit the deceased in the hip. 2 more bullets hit her that we know. The one is the head wound, and one is the one in the arm. And let us just leave now the finger for now. Okay. Am I right?
Yes, you're right.
The
If you
3 major wounds.
we
Yeah.
disregard the finger at the
Yeah, for
moment.
now. 3 major wounds. There's the hip, the arm, and the head. Am I right?
You're showing at the left arm, it was the right arm.
No, yeah, no, sorry. I didn't try and be specific, but,
No.
but you're right. No, you caught me out. I take that. You're right. Now, we all agree that the head wound was, in all probability, the last shot.
I think that is the Professor Simon's conclusion as well.
Yeah. So, if I understand your evidence correctly, well, let me rather ask a question first. Mr. Dixon gave evidence. He said he assisted you on this day, and it was his version that bullet hole C caused, the bullet that perforated at C caused E.
That was not my opinion. I say C or D. I say C or D, but I won't say it's specifically C, my lady.
So,
I won't say he's wrong, but he's halfway wrong. So there is he didn't take D in consideration. So but yeah, I remember him saying that, but that's not my version.
I'm going to say, if we look at that door, and you stand inside the door, if you hit at A in the right hip, and you go down, and by going down, I'm meaning bending, not falling down, collapsing. I mean, you hit and you bend forward. I'm now demonstrating, and I know it's not on record, but do you at least follow me?
I follow what you're saying, my lady.
And so, if you hit in the right hip and you bend towards the handle of the door, you have to for B to hit you, isn't it?
My lady, I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, both pathologists' version was that after the shot in the hip, she couldn't move voluntarily. So what Mr. Nell is putting to me is that she's, if I understand him correctly, she's moving voluntary forward, bending voluntary forward. And I think both Professor Botha and Simon said, after the shot in the hip, she could not move voluntarily. I'm not sure, but that's how I understood their
I thought I could
evidence.
make it easier, but you tell us. After A hit her, what happened as far as you're concerned?
She collapsed, my lady.
Where to?
My lady is difficult. Can I go into the toilet? But I can't move. I just had a major back operation, and I really can't do the movements I would like to do. And I'm much taller than the deceased as well. But I'll try and explain in slow motion, and that's.
I know. Maybe do that. I'll try and put it on record as we
Yes.
continue.
Yes, please proceed.
Mr. Wormerans, you're welcome to go towards the toilet. And you want to go inside?
I would like to go inside.
Yes, you're welcome to do that.
My lady, may I take my jacket
Yes,
off?
you may do so.
My lady, unfortunately, you can't see. Well, I want to. I'm in the toilet now. And now I'm much taller than the deceased. But let's take the wound, bullet hole A. We all agree that bullet hole A caused wound 4.5, according to Professor Simon's post-mortem report. Now we've got another bullet hole here at B.
Yes, we've got it.
And now that bullet hole is 104.
I'm so sorry, I must maybe just inquire if it's being recorded. I'm just concerned.
Does it
That better. Now that bullet hole is 104 centimeters high. If she could collapse, my lady, now she collapsed. Her arm comes up to, normally you go for your face to protect your face. But going up, collapsing, going down, the wound number 4.4 is 117 centimeters high. She's only got to collapse, 13 centimeters, that's about that much, to come in with her arm in straight direction with bullet B. So it's only 13 centimeters that you've got to collapse down after the first shot.
But
So, and that's the point what I want to make. So,
where you have difficulty though is it entered
Can I
around.
move
Yeah,
on?
please come back. Sorry, may I ask you to come?
Yes.
Where you have difficulty, Mr. Wolmerans, is in that specific wound in the arm entered on the right hand side. So, and you said that right hand arm of hers must have been at most, or you said between 6 and 20 centimeters from the door. So, if her right arm is where B is, and it's aligned with the exit wound and the wound on the chest, there's no place for a head. A head would be through the wall. You can't fit a head in. You can't fit a body in.
I don't understand the question.
Well, I'll try and explain it again. If B hit her
In the
in the
arm.
arm, and one take the alignment of the wounds into account, it is impossible. A head would be through the wall. There's no place for a body to do that. On your version.
So I really don't, and maybe I don't understand the question.
No, that's fine.
I don't understand it.
We'll get to that. I don't understand why do you have difficulty? If you place her shoulder and her elbow, the arm, if you place that arm against B, that's all you have to do. Her right hand side must now face the door. Am I right? Her right hand side must face the door for the
She
bullet.
must be
Yeah.
or her arm is,
Just as you know, you're standing, you're facing that wall. You just turned towards the door with your right hand side.
that's correct. I
Good.
couldn't do it
Yeah.
when I was there. My lady couldn't see what I was
No,
doing.
now you're right. No, I don't. There's no quarrel. You turned, and your right shoulder and right arm is towards the door. That's what you just did.
That's correct.
And you also picked up your arm and aligned it, entrance wound with the exit, and the wound at the chest.
The abrasion.
She must be down. Even if it's just 13 centimeters, she must be down.
13 centimeters downwards, and she must be near the door to have that splinters around that
Can't
wound.
happen. B is too close to the wall.
My lady, the splinters is around that wound, and there's no other ways that I can see. If Mr. Nell can put a scenario to me where that splinters came from, Professor Simon said it is splinters from the most probably from the door. I agree with Professor Simon, and Professor Botha agreed on that point that it's secondary missiles from intermediate target. And I've conducted many tests in my career doing this type of thing. And we have even, in the old days, we had a connection with the abattoir. We conducted tests with fresh slaughtered pigs. And this type of things was done on a regular basis. And if I can use the word, sometimes just playing around to enhance your knowledge. My lady, and the splinters from that secondary missiles is consistent with her arm being approximate to the door. And I said I'll hand it in some literature from De Meyer. May I hand it up now?
You know what, sir, if you get an opportunity through Mr. Roux, you're welcome to. For now,
Well, first
look
time
at
I
me.
was told by Mr. Roux I can get the opportunity from Mr. Nell. Now I'm being again told
yeah,
to get the opportunity from Mr. Roux. When must I hand it in?
listen, let us just listen to the questions and see if we can move this forward. Have a look at that photograph. My lady, that's photograph 26 in RR.
Is it the one on the screen?
Indeed, my lady.
Yes.
Can you identify bullet hole B for us? Yes, you're right.
So that's been.
Yes, you're Now, if you just look at that photograph, the shoulder is there. There's no way for her to bend forward. Her head would be against the wall. You can see it there.
I disagree.
Why do you disagree?
There's
You
enough,
turned.
there's enough space, my lady. Sorry to interrupt you. There's enough space.
If she went down on the spot, are you saying then she just collapsed downwards?
That's how I understood both the pathologist's evidence. So I understood it that she collapsed. And I think one of the pathologists, maybe it was Professor Botha, she most probably collapsed to the right side because the right hip was fractured and totally destroyed with that black talon bullet. So I'm not a doctor, but it makes sense to me that she will collapse like that, Marlene.
Yeah. You see, I know that one can put her in any position, but what I want to just test you on, are you saying the following? After A, she turned and the right side was now facing the door, but you collapsed downwards.
My lady, what happened behind that door, we will never know.
No, but
But we can there's a couple of things that we can do, and I'm sorry, interrupt me if I'm out of order. But there's things that we know. There's 4 shots through the door. A, B, C, and D. So 4 shots was fired. 4 cartridge cases were retrieved on the crime scene. It's another indication that 4 shots was fired on that crime scene, on that alleged crime scene. So, my lady, now, the next thing is that I retrieved a bullet from the toilet bowl with a piece of tile. That tells me one thing, that the deceased was not sitting on the toilet at the stage when the shots were fired. Another thing about this is the hip wound and the fact that her pants was pulled up and a shot was fired through her pants that is in alignment with wound 4.B. So this is things that we can infer from the evidence. And then there is the mark E on the wall. That was probably a bullet that ricochets from E to F, and my opinion is it went back into the toilet bowl. So, and then we've got the splinters. That's the indication that she was near to the toilet door when the shots was fired. And that is what we've got to build our story around. And I can tell this, and then another expert can come tomorrow, but he will have another opinion. And a lot of things can be inferred from what I have just told the court.
You see, sir, I've now made a point. I'm saying that it is impossible for her to have bent down at B and align the arm and the chest. There's no place for her head. You don't agree with it?
She's leaning forward like this?
Yeah. Low enough, because low enough for B to hit her. There's not enough place for her to go down.
I disagree. I think there's enough space.
Okay. Then, is that what happened? Is that how you reconstructed? Or
No, that's not my reconstruction.
your reconstruction went down?
I think she must have collapsed, and this, at that stage, the first shot, hands is going up, shot through the arm, and that's the second shot.
You see, on your version, if she collapsed there, the head wound could never have happened, because she would have gone down and wouldn't have been able to get up.
My lady knows that she could have fallen backwards,
Okay.
And in the process, when she was falling back, the other 2 shots could have been fired.
If she collapsed, but let us just take it step by step. Okay, let us just work on what you're saying. She's fallen backwards. The other 2 no. She's fallen backwards. Only 1 shot could still hit her, because the other one missed. That caused E. Okay, so we have A in the hip, B in the shoulder. On your version, she collapsed down. I don't understand when the head wound could have happened.
My lady, while she was falling down, as I said, now this arm is totally destroyed. It was next to her because she couldn't move this arm voluntarily. Falling down, as I said, hand is coming up. This is a possibility. I'm just putting it as a scenario. I don't say this is what happened, but it's a possibility. Hand comes up while falling down. 1 shot struck her on the finger, hit point E at the tile, and then while she was still going down, facing the door, another shot hit her and caused what we call, the professor called it a keyhole wound. I agree with him. It's a keyhole wound. My lady, I've seen this type of wounds many times in Kosovo where I work. And I agree, this is a type of a keyhole wound that hit her, and then the one piece of the core came out and made mark G on the wall. So I can't see that that is not a possibility, my lady.
You see, the fact that it's not a possibility is, Mr. Wilmerans, is that if your reconstruction is even considered, she could never have ended with her head on, she would never have ended on the right-hand side of the toilet with her head on the toilet. She could not have ended there.
My lady, I disagree. Anything could have happened in that toilet.
Yes,
Anything.
no.
And as I said, going on the possibilities that a right hip collapsed and she went down, I can't see the possibility that she could not have landed in that position.
You see,
it's a possibility.
We're right, that is true. Anything in this world is possible. But the court would be more interested as an expert to deal with the probabilities of what happened. Possibilities, anything is possible. But on the probabilities, your reconstruction, if B hit her, she could not have ended up where she did.
I can't see why not, my lady.
You know why not? Because the head wound was inflicted whilst the head was in the vicinity of the toilet lid.
My lady, something I left out when is that the hand and the face. There was no secondary injuries to the hand and the face. It was said in my evidence in chief, and my answer is that at that stage when that shots were fired, a hand and a head was not in close proximity to the door.
Now,
And now I'm sorry to interrupt.
no, please do.
But now we are dealing with the probabilities that we are talking about. And I took all these probabilities in account when I came to my opinion, and this is my opinion.
You see, sir, are you talking that is your evidence that the accused fired rapidly?
I think it was in quite a fast session, my lady.
Why are you saying that?
For all this to happen, because you can pull the trigger, as I explained to you, lady, you must leave the trigger, pull it, leave it, pull it, and you must pull the trigger 4 times. And that takes time. All depends on the person. As I said, I've been able to do it much quicker when I was younger. I can't do it now, and I don't know what the capabilities of the accused is. Maybe he can do it very rapid, but I say it's a possibility that it was fired in quite a rapid succession.
Have you asked him how he fired?
No, I didn't.
Have you been present when he explained how he fired?
No, I was not in court when it was done. I was not in court.
But not in court, outside court. Was it not important for you to know if the accused fired 2 shots and then 2 shots, or 1 shot and then 3? Was it not important for you to know that?
I think Advocate Roo have put the scenario that with in court when we cross-examined Professor Simon and an examination of and chief of Professor Botha.
So rapid.
So it's quite rapid, yeah.
Now, for your reconstruction to be accepted, you agree one would accept rapid fire. Because A hit, she's go down before she's down, B hit, and then C missed and D hit. Or D missed and C.
Or the other way around. I'm not sure.
You see, one thing we know, and will you agree with me, that she bled, the head would bled into the toilet, and the arm would bled to the right-hand side of the...
I'll presume that the wood that was around the magazine rack was most probably from the arm.
One thing that I think Mr. Dixon was correct on is that the magazine rack was in the position that one could see it on the photographs.
I agree with him.
That it was there.
I agree with Mr. Dixon. And after that, that's one thing that I had to look after. Is that I went back to it, and I agree. I can even go further than Mr. Dixon. And I'm not a blood spatter expert, my lady. But if you take that photo, I don't know what's the number of that photo. You can see the foot of the magazine rack. You can see the tiles. You can see the tiles. There's no blood there.
So it was there when she bled there?
She was there when it bled it. Yeah. And I mean, that's common sense.
Yeah. Although it's common sense, it's not the accused version.
Well, I don't know, but that's what I'm saying. That magazine rack was there when she started bleeding.
Yeah. So then the accused must be wrong.
You might be wrong. It's my version, and I'm saying the book rack was standing there. So
you see, now you will agree with me that her head was in the vicinity of the toilet lid when she was shot in the head.
Come again. Sorry, I've missed the question.
Okay, now you've missed the question, no problem. Her head was in the vicinity of the toilet lid that was open when she sustained the head wound.
So that's what I also explained about the hand could not have been there. There is some of the tissue that came out there and actually...
Yeah, so the tissue and broken hair embedded on the toilet lid. And you agree?
I agree. So it couldn't have been very far from there.
And it goes further that on photograph we'll show the photograph now. Here we go. Image 218. May I confer with Mr. van Staden?
Yes, please do.
My lady, may I be seated, please?
Yes, please take a seat.
Thank you.
And your jacket.
Thank you.
You've forgotten your jacket, Mr. Bolmaran. You've forgotten your jacket.
It's better for me to stand, but
The jacket.
but sometimes it's better to sit.
The
my
jacket that I'm talking about. The jacket.
lady. Oh, my jacket. Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Vormerand, we don't have to go there. I'm sure you agree with me that on that toilet lid there's broken hair embedded into body tissue. You've seen that in the sport before?
I've even blown it up myself, my lady.
Okay. But if we go towards the back, the wall at the back, yeah, there and higher up. I'm going to ask that we zoom in, my lady. Zoom in a bit more, please, if you can. There's also, you see the body tissue and blood spatter in that area.
Yeah, this area here.
So that
They
was
say
also,
the first tile from the corner.
yeah, that was also
That
caused
area.
by the headwind, in all probability.
I can't disagree with that.
No, well, you can't disagree because it cannot be the arm wound and it cannot be the hip wound.
Not the hip wound, definitely.
Yeah.
Not the hip wound.
Can't also be
But I won't totally exclude the arm wound.
You have-
Because there was a huge wound at the back. And when she was falling, I can't totally, but I hear what you're saying. It's possibly the head, but I can't exclude the arm totally, my lady.
No, but Mr. Vormerand, you have to exclude the arm. She was 6 to 20 centimeters from the door at B on your version when she was hit in the arm. That,
When- The wound was already inflicted, my lady. When she fell backward, that wound was already there. And from falling backward, that wound could have caused that
No.
spatter there.
and Mr. Are you seriously saying that to this court? That the arm wound in the
That-
exit wound in the arm, in her falling back, would have caused that body tissue there?
That's
Are you
not what
really
I-
saying that?
My lady, that's not what I said.
What did you say? then?
I didn't say would have caused it. I
did
said
you
there's a
say?
possibility.
How can it be possible?
Because the wound is on the right arm, my lady. That is on her right arm side. And I said I can't exclude it totally, my lady.
Good. Let us just deal with something as on the injury on the back. You know, the injury on the back? You exclude Captain Mangena's version that was caused by a bullet.
That's correct.
On your version, that was caused by hitting a blunt object.
Yes, my lady.
Now, the only blunt object, well, there are two. One would be the toilet and one would be the magazine rack. But you said in all probability you would expect that to have been caused by the magazine rack.
Possible. Yeah,
And probably.
probably.
Now, you've listened to Mr. Dixon's evidence on her hitting the magazine rack. With it causing
I
these
just want to think whether I was in court when, I think I was in court when he testified on that. I can't remember his evidence very clearly, but yeah.
He said, in all probability, the magazine rack as it stands, the right-hand side, if you stand in the door, the right-hand side of the magazine rack caused those wounds?
I think you're correct, yeah. No, not
Thank
think,
you.
maybe you're correct, yeah.
But you agree with it?
No, I won't agree with him where the magazine rack was standing, my lady, because I don't know where the magazine rack was standing. So, but I think it's a possibility, because the magazine rack is not in a straight against the wall, that it was shifted when she fell backwards. That's a possibility or a probability.
Now, I'm putting to you that if the magazine rack, now, which portion of the magazine rack would have caused that injury?
I'm not sure, my lady.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure. But my lady, one thing I can say, if we look at the fragments that was retrieved from the crime scene, and my opinion is based on the fragments that was retrieved from the crime scene, and especially underneath the book rack, that is not consistent with the that type of abrasion on her back, because it's a racket type of an irregular. All of those fragments is irregular. If we go and look at the wound at 4.4, that is very, very consistent to a fragment that hit her there. And the one at the two at the back got straight edges, and that is my point, my lady.
No, I'm going somewhere. I'll show you something, but we'll get there. On your reconstruction saying that the ricochet from F could not have hit her on the back, why not?
The most of the energy was lost at that point, my lady.
But there was enough energy for that bullet on your version to ricochet back into the toilet.
No, my lady. I said there was enough energy to fall into that and rebound there. But that will not be enough energy to cause an injury like that.
Is that your only reason? Is that because you did not have enough energy, or was there any other reason?
No, not enough energy.
Is that the main reason?
That's my main reason, yeah.
Okay. And the bullet, the core that you extracted from the toilet, image 3248, would you just identify that?
Which one?
We'll show it to you now.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said I must identify.
No, don't worry about it. Is that the core that you...
As far as I know, that's one side of the core. And
Yes.
that if you turn it around,
Yeah.
you will see the...
Yeah, no, but you identify that?
Yeah, as far as I know, that is the one
Okay,
that I retrieved from the toilet bowl.
good. Now I want to show you
And
photograph.
I think if you can look there, my lady, you'll see there's the K. There's the lab number, and there's the K marked in there.
Okay. No, so we've identified it. That's good. Now, I just want to ask you if you can... I just had a photograph of this particular... Can you identify that?
That's the same photograph as what we've got there, my lady.
Okay. Can I just see that one? Lady, may I hand this up? It's just a photograph of what we see on the screen at the moment, and hand to the pen. Triple N. Lady. Would you just hang on to this?
Is that the exhibit number?
Triple N, my lady.
Thank you.
May I ask this, the mark is triple N1?
Triple N1.
Should I mark this one as well?
Yeah, please do.
Triple N1.
Yes.
Thank you.
Will you just identify then image 490 as a close-up of the injury on the back? That's a close-up of the injury at the back. Do you agree?
That's correct, my lady.
Just have a look at this photograph and see if that is a...
I see it, my lady.
Is that the same thing?
Same photo.
Yes. Lady, may this be handed in as triple N2. Now,
Thank you.
Mr. Melanie, I just want Mr. Verstappen to see if we can have them both on the same screen. If not, we'll refer to the photographs. Yeah, there we go, almost. But no, I'll carry on with the photographs. There we go. Now, Mr. Wormerans, do you see the striation marks on the wound, the left wound?
Yes, I saw it and I blown it up myself, my
Yes.
lady.
Now, the striation marks in that whole area where the striation marks are seen is an exact replica of your core, the right-hand side of your core.
It's not the exact replica, my lady.
Why?
I disagree totally.
No, I know you want to disagree, but
It's not that I want to disagree, my lady. I disagree.
if you have a look.
And I'll motivate it why I disagree.
No, but first follow what I'm saying. Then you can motivate as much as you want to. The right-hand edge of the core, as you see it there. You see it there?
I see it, my lady.
And the right-hand edge of that area there on the striation is the same thing.
My lady, I'm not with the striations that we were talking earlier on. Are you talking about this?
No,
Or
I'm
are
not
you
talking. I'm
talking
talking
about
about just
that
the area with the
striation?
striations. That small area with the striations.
This area here?
Yeah, that's the area. That I'm talking about that
Okay,
area.
but the pointer was over here
Yeah.
now.
Yeah. That's the same thing.
I can't see anything that...
I say on the photograph you can see that this core hit there and caused the bruise.
I disagree. I can't see the resemblance.
I say you
If
should.
you can show it to me, I'll agree. And I'll
I'll-
concede, but I can't see it, my lady.
Can you perhaps hand me your photograph and then I'll do it on your photograph for you just to have a look and I'll show the court where I'm marking.
Photograph of the core? Or
Both.
Both.
Lady, I'm going to make a mark on this and then I'll introduce it. I don't have the correct equipment, but I think I've managed to. You see, I'm going to show you. Sorry, my lady, I'm just conferring with the people behind me. Would that
No,
be
that's
okay?
fine. Go ahead.
Okay. You see, Mr. Wolmerans, that rounded and uneven area on the core resembles that area that is pointed out now.
My lady, I'm so glad Mr. Nell called it an uneven area, because that area would have caused an uneven mark at the edges of this wound.
No, you see, I'm not referring to the bruise. I'm referring to the area where the striations are, not the bruise that's around that. I'm talking just about that area, sir. Look at where the arrow is. I'm not talking about the bruising area. Just that area. It hit there and caused the bruise. Is that not possible?
My lady, really, I can't see the resemblance. There's,
No,
there-
fine.
there's not even, if I can use the word class characteristics on it. I can't see it. I can see striations on it, and all the striations is going through like that. There you can see the striations. There, my lady, there's the striations going through there. I don't know what caused it, but at my photo, there's a mark. Let me just make sure. No, I'm wrong.
You see,
There's
sir,
a,
you can clearly see.
yeah,
Look at
there's that here. So, is on. Am I correct? There was a mark there. So, I can't see the resemblance between something there and the area you showed out here and marked on my photo here.
But what we have to take into account is the following: that she had a top on, she had a vest
what?
on, a vest. She had a vest on.
We must take it in consideration.
Yes.
If the vest was not pulled up.
Yeah. On your version, would you say, what would you say? If that was caused by a blunt object, what would you say was the condition of the vest?
What's the condition of the vest?
Well, was the vest pulled up or was the vest in position when she fell on
I'm
a
not
hard
sure,
object?
but I think the vest was in position.
Yes, I agree with you.
I think it
So-
was in position.
The striations.
Sorry
Yeah,
to
no, please do.
interrupt you. The reason I'm saying that, if we look at wound 4.7, I think, and we can even blow it up, but that photo won't be a photo to show to court. Where the deceased is lying, I don't know the number of the photo, where she's lying in the foyer. There's a photo taken where you can see that two little wounds on the left hand, just on the buff of the elastic band of the, and between the vest. So it's a possibility that there could have been more splinters there, but it was absorbed by the clothing, and that only those two splinters came through there. So that's one of the reasons why I say I think the vest was pulled down.
Yes. And would you exclude the fabric of the vest having caused those striations as an imprint?
My lady, after I saw that, and after I've blown that up, I've only saw photos of the vest, but never investigated the vest to see if that striations will be compatible or whatever to that marking. It's very strange, let's put it that way. It's a very strange thing. I've never seen it before. But there is definitely striations there, but from what area, the book rack, or I don't even want to go into that.
Yeah.
So
Because you've seen the book rack and there are no edges on that book rack. It's a smooth book rack.
The book rack is at the back, and
But
I've
it's
seen
smooth,
it.
am I right?
It's a smooth, well working off
Yeah.
book rack.
And one needs an edge to cause a striation. Am I right? Must be an edge of something.
There must be something to cause a
Yeah,
striation.
that would be protruding from
I
somewhere.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So we can exclude the magazine rack as the cause of the striation in itself. Coupled with the shirt, it's possible.
I agree.
And that you agree?
That's
Good. Lady, we've had a long stretch without any break. May I ask for an early lunch? It's 12:30, 12:39, and we at 22:02 we return. May I ask that?
Yes, we'll take our lunch break. Court will adjourn.
Good morning.